Francis Hutcheson, a prominent philosopher of the 18th century, is often considered one of the most influential figures in the Scottish Enlightenment. His works played a pivotal role in shaping moral philosophy, particularly in his emphasis on human nature, ethics, and the role of emotion in moral actions. Hutcheson was particularly concerned with understanding the motivations behind human actions and how individuals could live virtuous, fulfilling lives within society. His ideas about the moral sense, benevolence, and the balance between reason and emotion laid the foundation for modern theories of moral psychology and motivation. Hutcheson's key contributions include his theory that humans possess an innate, moral sense that motivates moral behavior and guides us toward acts of benevolence. This moral sense is an internal, emotional capacity that helps us perceive the goodness or badness of actions, much as our sensory faculties help us perceive physical properties like color or sound. Hutcheson's philosophy suggests that moral motivations are not simply driven by self-interest, but by a deep-seated empathy and concern for the well-being of others. His works argue that living virtuously and acting with benevolence leads to the highest form of happiness, one that is rooted in personal fulfillment and the well-being of society as a whole. This video delves into Hutcheson's motivational lessons, exploring how his views on morality, emotions, and reason can guide contemporary individuals in seeking a deeper, more meaningful form of motivation. Through understanding Hutcheson's ideas on moral sense, benevolence, universal happiness, virtue, self-improvement, and balance between self-interest and altruism, we gain valuable insights into how to cultivate motivation that is rooted in ethics, empathy, and a concern for others. 1. The moral sense, the foundation of motivation. One of the most distinctive elements of Hutcheson's philosophy is his theory of the moral sense. According to Hutcheson, humans possess a unique internal sense, akin to our physical senses such as sight and hearing, that enables us to perceive right from wrong, good from bad. This moral sense is not learned through external teachings or rational processes but is an innate part of human nature. Hutcheson suggested that just as we naturally perceive beauty in art or nature, we also instinctively recognize moral good and evil. This moral sense motivates us to act in ways that promote good and avoid harm. Hutcheson's moral sense theory challenges earlier views of morality that viewed human beings primarily as rational agents driven by logic and self-interest. Instead, Hutcheson posited that humans are naturally inclined toward moral actions because of this internal, emotional faculty. This suggests that motivation is not purely a matter of reasoned choice but is often influenced by our ability to emotionally perceive the needs and well-being of others. This idea of an inborn moral sense provides a compelling explanation of motivation. It suggests that when people perform moral acts, such as helping others, being generous, or showing compassion, their actions are often motivated by an intrinsic recognition of what is morally right, rather than by a conscious decision to maximize personal gain. In modern times, this view resonates with the idea that humans are inherently social and empathetic, motivated to act with kindness because we can intuitively grasp the emotional impact our actions have on others. In practical terms, the moral sense could be seen as the internal compass that guides people in their day-to-day decisions. It motivates them to act benevolently and avoid causing harm to others, even in situations where there is no immediate personal reward. This theory lays the groundwork for understanding that much of human motivation comes from an innate sense of right and wrong, an emotional, almost visceral response to the moral qualities of actions. 2. Benevolence, motivation through the desire to promote the welfare of others. Central to Hutcheson's moral theory is the concept of benevolence, the natural desire to promote the welfare of others. Hutcheson argues that benevolence is not a learned behavior or a mere act of duty but a fundamental aspect of human nature, motivated by the moral sense. This benevolence is the driving force behind moral actions, urging individuals to act in ways that support the happiness and well-being of others, often at the expense of their own immediate interests. Benevolence is distinct from self-love or selfishness, though the two can often interact. Hutcheson does not deny that humans have self-interested motivations. Our desire for personal happiness and well-being is a natural part of our psychological makeup. However, he emphasizes that true moral motivation is not purely self-interested. Instead, the desire to benefit others, whether through acts of kindness, charity, or justice, is a central driver of ethical behavior. This view aligns with modern notions of empathy and compassion, suggesting that we are motivated to help others not because of what we will gain in return, but because we can emotionally connect to their needs. Hutcheson's theory of benevolence is motivational in two important ways. First, it provides a direct emotional connection to others' well-being. When we act with benevolence, we are emotionally motivated by the happiness and flourishing of others, not just by personal gain. Second, the act of benevolence itself generates a sense of fulfillment and moral satisfaction. There is a deep, intrinsic motivation that comes from helping others, rooted in the satisfaction of contributing to the greater good. In modern society, Hutcheson's focus on benevolence serves as an important reminder of the value of empathy-driven motivation. In contexts like volunteer work, charitable giving, or social activism, individuals are motivated by the desire to improve the lives of others, often without any expectation of reward. This sense of moral satisfaction that Hutcheson highlights becomes a key motivator, pushing people to engage in acts of kindness and generosity. 3. The pursuit of universal happiness, the larger goal of moral motivation. For Hutcheson, moral motivation goes beyond personal well-being to embrace the idea of universal happiness. Hutcheson argues that true happiness is not found in the pursuit of self-interest alone but in the well-being of others and society as a whole. Happiness, in this sense, is not a personal, isolated achievement but a collective experience that involves the flourishing of all individuals. Hutcheson's moral theory emphasizes that moral actions are those that promote the greater good, actions that contribute to the happiness and welfare of the broader society. This idea of universal benevolence suggests that the moral sense leads us to act not just for our own benefit but in a way that uplifts the community. The pursuit of universal happiness is a motivational framework that extends beyond individual fulfillment, encouraging individuals to consider the well-being of others in their actions. This broader vision of happiness aligns closely with modern ideas of social justice, equality, and collective welfare. It challenges the notion that individual success and happiness are the ultimate goals in life, suggesting instead that true fulfillment comes from contributing to the well-being of others. Motivation, therefore, is not just about personal gain, but about fostering a more harmonious and prosperous society for all. In practice, the pursuit of universal happiness can be seen in numerous aspects of human behavior, whether through acts of social responsibility, environmental advocacy, or public service. The motivation to engage in such efforts is driven by an understanding that individual well-being is interconnected with the well-being of others. By acting in ways that contribute to the public good, individuals find deeper fulfillment and moral satisfaction, fulfilling Hutcheson's vision of universal benevolence. 4. The interaction between reason and emotion in motivation. Hutcheson's philosophy of motivation involves a dynamic interaction between reason and emotion. While many philosophers of his time emphasized the role of reason in moral decision-making, Hutcheson was one of the first to argue that emotion, particularly empathy and sympathy, plays a crucial role in moral motivation. Hutcheson believed that reason serves an important function in moral decision-making, but he placed greater emphasis on the role of emotion in motivating people to act morally. He argued that reason helps individuals to navigate complex moral dilemmas and determine the best course of action, but it is emotion, especially sympathy, that actually moves individuals to act. In Hutcheson's view, sympathy allows us to connect with the emotions of others, motivating us to alleviate their suffering or promote their happiness. This emphasis on emotion as a driving force of motivation is particularly significant in understanding moral behavior. According to Hutcheson, emotions such as empathy, compassion, and love are not mere byproducts of moral thinking, they are integral to the process of moral motivation. It is our emotional responses to the suffering or joy of others that compel us to take action. For example, seeing someone in distress or hearing about a tragic event can stir our sympathy, motivating us to offer help, contribute to a cause, or engage in moral activism. Hutcheson's insights into the relationship between reason and emotion can be applied to modern theories of moral psychology. His view that moral action arises from a combination of rational reflection and emotional connection resonates with contemporary ideas about emotional intelligence and the importance of empathy in motivating ethical behavior. This balance between reason and emotion allows individuals to make moral judgments while also being moved to act by their emotional responses to others' needs. 5. The value of virtue and integrity in motivational development. For Hutcheson, the pursuit of virtue is central to both moral motivation and personal fulfillment. He argued that virtue is not just a moral ideal to be followed out of duty, but the key to living a fulfilling and meaningful life. Virtue, in Hutcheson's view, provides individuals with the internal motivation to act ethically, and it is through the cultivation of virtuous qualities that people can achieve both personal happiness and contribute to the welfare of society. Virtue encompasses qualities such as honesty, fairness, justice, and integrity, values that guide individuals to act in ways that are morally good. Hutcheson believed that when individuals align their actions with virtuous principles, they experience a sense of moral satisfaction that reinforces their motivation to continue living virtuously. This intrinsic motivation to act virtuously is not driven by external rewards or social approval but by the inner fulfillment that comes from aligning with one's moral ideals. In modern life, the pursuit of virtue remains a powerful motivator. Individuals who value honesty, integrity, and fairness are often driven by a sense of internal satisfaction when they act in accordance with these virtues. This intrinsic motivation to live virtuously transcends the need for external validation, creating a sense of fulfillment that is rooted in personal moral development. Hutcheson's emphasis on virtue as the foundation of motivation highlights the importance of developing a strong moral character. Virtuous actions are not just the right thing to do, they are the actions that lead to true fulfillment. By cultivating virtues like courage, temperance, and compassion, individuals create a moral framework that guides their decisions and actions, leading to a life that is both ethically grounded and personally rewarding. 6. Self-improvement as a lifelong motivational goal. Self-improvement is a crucial aspect of Hutcheson's vision of moral motivation. He believed that moral development is a lifelong process, one that requires continuous effort and self-reflection. Self-improvement, in Hutcheson's view, is not merely about acquiring knowledge or skills, but about refining one's moral character and aligning one's actions with ethical ideals. Hutcheson encourages individuals to cultivate virtues, refine their moral sense, and engage in ongoing self-reflection to become better people. This process of moral self-improvement provides the motivation for individuals to continue striving for moral excellence, even in the face of challenges or temptations. By focusing on personal growth and self-improvement, individuals are better equipped to contribute to the well-being of others and society. In practical terms, self-improvement as a motivational goal means working to develop greater empathy, compassion, and moral clarity. It involves striving to be more generous, just, and kind in one's interactions with others. This process of continuous self-improvement is deeply motivational because it offers individuals a sense of purpose and direction. It encourages them to strive for personal excellence and contributes to a sense of moral fulfillment. Modern theories of personal growth and development, including those found in positive psychology, resonate with Hutcheson's view of self-improvement as a lifelong journey. Motivational theories today emphasize the importance of growth mindsets, which encourage individuals to see challenges as opportunities for development. This aligns with Hutcheson's belief that moral progress is an ongoing, dynamic process that provides deep and lasting motivation. 7. Moral actions as social contributions. Hutcheson saw moral actions not just as personal expressions of virtue but as contributions to the larger social order. He argued that moral actions, particularly those motivated by benevolence, help to create a harmonious society. By acting in ways that promote the well-being of others, individuals contribute to the common good and help foster a society in which people can flourish. Hutcheson's moral theory places significant emphasis on the social aspect of moral motivation. It is not enough for individuals to act morally in isolation; their actions must benefit the broader community. This perspective aligns with modern views of social responsibility and collective welfare. In contemporary society, this could manifest through acts of social service, environmental activism, or community-building initiatives. The motivation to act morally is often rooted in the recognition that one's actions can have a positive impact on society as a whole. Moral actions that benefit society are intrinsically motivating. Knowing that one's actions contribute to a better world can provide deep emotional satisfaction and drive further moral behavior. Hutcheson's view challenges the purely individualistic approach to motivation and calls for individuals to consider their role within the larger social framework. 8. The balance between self-interest and altruism. One of the most compelling aspects of Hutcheson's philosophy is his nuanced view of the balance between self-interest and altruism. Hutcheson acknowledged that humans are naturally motivated by self-interest, as individuals strive to achieve personal happiness and well-being. However, he rejected the notion that self-interest should be the sole driver of human action. Instead, Hutcheson argued that moral motivation arises when individuals balance their self-love with benevolence, concern for the welfare of others. In Hutcheson's view, self-interest is not inherently negative or immoral. It's a natural part of human nature. However, unchecked self-interest can lead to egoism and harm the social fabric by neglecting the needs of others. On the other hand, benevolence, or altruism, acting for the benefit of others, is a moral force that motivates people to engage in acts of kindness and justice. Hutcheson's genius was in recognizing that humans can act out of both self-interest and altruism in ways that are not mutually exclusive. For Hutcheson, the ideal moral agent is someone who, while naturally motivated by self-interest, also recognizes the importance of acting for the greater good. This balanced approach leads to both personal and societal happiness. When individuals act in ways that benefit others, they not only contribute to the public good but also fulfill their own deeper needs for connection, moral satisfaction, and long-term fulfillment. This balance between self-interest and altruism can be seen in modern examples of motivation. In the workplace, for instance, individuals who seek to advance in their careers may do so while also ensuring that their work benefits the broader team, the company, or society. Similarly, individuals motivated by self-interest, such as those pursuing financial success or personal goals, may also feel morally compelled to give back to their communities or support charitable causes. The dual motivation of self-interest and altruism becomes a powerful motivator for individuals to achieve personal success while also contributing positively to the world around them. Hutcheson's view on the balance between self-interest and altruism challenges the purely utilitarian or egoistic approaches to motivation that dominate certain schools of thought. It offers a more integrated vision of human motivation that acknowledges the complexity of human desires and needs. People are motivated by a desire to improve their own circumstances, but they are equally driven by a sense of moral duty and empathy for others, creating a more harmonious and fulfilling existence. 9. The role of social morality and society's impact on motivation. Hutcheson believed that morality is not only an individual endeavor but is deeply shaped by the society in which one lives. For Hutcheson, human beings are inherently social creatures, and as such, their moral actions are closely tied to the welfare of the community. Moral motivation, according to Hutcheson, is significantly influenced by social interactions, norms, and the collective emotional climate of the society. Hutcheson's moral theory emphasizes the social context in which moral sense and benevolence are cultivated. Individuals are motivated not just by personal feelings or internal faculties, but also by their connections to others and the moral expectations of the society they are part of. Society helps to reinforce moral principles, encouraging individuals to align their actions with the common good and providing both formal and informal systems of accountability. An essential aspect of social morality in Hutcheson's view is the role of sympathy, the emotional capacity to feel what others feel, which is fundamentally social. Sympathy connects individuals to each other and makes moral action both personally satisfying and socially rewarding. Moral motivation, therefore, arises from an individual's ability to empathize with others and the recognition that one's actions have consequences that affect the larger community. When society values benevolence, justice, and kindness, individuals are more motivated to act in ways that reflect these values, helping to foster a culture of cooperation and mutual respect. This framework also suggests that the moral development of individuals is influenced by the moral development of the society in which they live. In societies where virtue and altruism are highly valued, individuals may feel a stronger motivation to conform to these moral expectations, thus perpetuating a cycle of positive social behavior. Conversely, in societies where selfishness and greed are more dominant, individuals may struggle with moral motivation, as the social norms reward self-interest over benevolence. Hutcheson's ideas about the social context of morality are especially relevant today. In contemporary times, the motivational force of social morality can be seen in movements for social justice, human rights, and environmental activism. People are motivated not just by personal concern for others, but also by the desire to contribute to the collective good. Social norms and the broader cultural emphasis on ethical behavior continue to shape individuals' motivations, pushing them to engage in moral actions that promote fairness, equity, and mutual respect. The interplay between individual moral sense and social expectations highlights the importance of societal structures in shaping motivation. In a well-functioning society, moral motivations are reinforced by a collective commitment to the common good, creating an environment where people are encouraged to act benevolently and ethically. This aligns with Hutcheson's belief that moral actions are most effective when they are guided by both personal conviction and social responsibility. 10. The legacy and modern application of Hutcheson's motivational lessons. The legacy of Francis Hutcheson's work extends far beyond his time. While his ideas were influential during the Scottish Enlightenment, they have continued to resonate with philosophers, psychologists, and moral theorists into the present day. Hutcheson's theories about moral motivation, particularly his emphasis on the moral sense and benevolence, remain highly relevant to modern discussions on human behavior, ethics, and motivation. One of the most enduring elements of Hutcheson's philosophy is the idea that moral motivation is not simply a matter of rational calculation or self-interest, but is deeply rooted in emotional and social factors. In a world where utilitarianism and egoism often dominate motivational theories, Hutcheson's emphasis on benevolence and universal happiness provides a refreshing alternative that prioritizes the well-being of others alongside personal fulfillment. This perspective aligns closely with contemporary movements in ethics and psychology that emphasize empathy, compassion, and prosocial behavior as central motivators of human action. In modern motivational psychology, Hutcheson's ideas about the moral sense have parallels with contemporary research on emotional intelligence and moral emotions. The ability to recognize the emotional states of others and to act in ways that alleviate suffering or promote well-being is considered an important component of effective moral motivation today. Furthermore, his view of virtue as an essential motivator aligns with positive psychology, which encourages individuals to cultivate strengths such as gratitude, kindness, and integrity to enhance their own well-being and contribute to the happiness of others. Hutcheson's views on self-interest and altruism also resonate with current debates about the role of personal gain in moral decision-making. While modern society often emphasizes individual success and competition, Hutcheson reminds us that true fulfillment comes from balancing self-interest with a genuine concern for others. The motivational lessons he offers encourage individuals to seek personal success in ways that also benefit the community, thereby creating a more cooperative and harmonious society. In the realm of applied ethics, Hutcheson's work has practical implications for areas such as business ethics, social responsibility, and civic engagement. Leaders, policymakers, and individuals alike can draw from Hutcheson's ideas when making decisions that affect the public good. For example, in the corporate world, Hutcheson's focus on benevolence could inspire leaders to prioritize ethical business practices and social responsibility, motivating them to act in ways that benefit both their companies and the communities they serve. Moreover, Hutcheson's theory of moral motivation offers valuable insights for individuals seeking to lead fulfilling and meaningful lives. By cultivating benevolence, acting in accordance with one's moral sense, and striving for self-improvement, individuals can find motivation in both personal growth and the betterment of society. The pursuit of universal happiness, rooted in a balance between self-interest and altruism, provides a motivational framework that leads not only to personal fulfillment but also to a more just and compassionate world. In conclusion, the motivational lessons of Francis Hutcheson remain powerful and applicable today. His ideas offer a profound understanding of human motivation that integrates reason, emotion, and social responsibility. By emphasizing the importance of benevolence, virtue, and a moral sense, Hutcheson's philosophy provides a comprehensive model for achieving both personal and collective happiness. His legacy continues to inspire individuals and society seeking to cultivate ethical motivation in an increasingly complex and interconnected world.